Hey guys, this is Graham, and this video is going to be a Markiplier x Darkiplier x Reader fanfiction, and I do want to say that this story is rewritten. I cannot explain that enough. It is rewritten, and you can, if you want to read or listen to the first, like the original one, you can go on Wattpad, which is a website and an app which lets you read and write stories, or you can go to the YouTube account Banner Proxy. She read the whole entire book, and I will say she did an amazing job. And I'll try to leave a link in the description for her because it was phenomenal. I love her so much. So if you want to do that, you can. So this is the same book, but it's rewritten, and according to the author, Dat Pizza Slice, though, which is the author's name, it's going to be totally different than the first one because she didn't like the first one, so she's rewriting it, as I said before. Anyways, without further ado, let's get started. Okay. Sorry, this is my first time. So, anyways, Chapter 1. Hello.wav. Mark Fishbach hadn't posted a single thing in over a month, and the concerns in the community were getting high. You sat at your computer, scrolling through Tumblr and Twitter, attempting to find anything out. You, like many others, hoped he was safe. You turned off your computer, and with a very heavy heart and a mind full of hopes, you clambered into your bed, tired from a day of worrying. It was at 3:15 a.m., a time that people consider the witching hour, that you woke up all of a sudden, sweating and feeling nauseous. You scrambled to the bathroom to throw up the contents of your microwaved meal you had hours before. You trudged back to bed only to notice your computer was on. Odd, was the first thing you thought. Didn't I turn that off? Still feeling sickly, you shuffled across the thick carpet and turned off the computer, then floating back to bed. The next day came, you attended your work as usual, spoke to coworkers like always. It was only when you stepped into your apartment that afternoon you were suddenly hit with that nauseous feeling again. You walked into your kitchen, popped a few pills in your mouth, and you sat down, your head swarming no longer with nausea, but instead with pain. Then your phone buzzed. Markiplier has just uploaded a new video. Hello.wav. Also, for the hello, it's spelled H and then the 3 and then 2 L's and O, just saying. Okay, back to the story. You scrambled to your computer, hurriedly turning it on and bringing up his YouTube channel. But there was one thing wrong. Everything else he had ever made, every video he had ever published was gone, and you blinked in disbelief. But replacing every Let's Play, every sketch, every vlog was this one weirdly titled video. Still, being curious and partially ecstatic that he finally uploaded something, you clicked on the video hoping for a good explanation as to why he didn't post and why everything was gone. The screen started off black. Then you heard static. Fear crawled its way into your body like a worm, slithering itself down your spine, causing you to shiver. The hair on the back of your head stood on end, and your eyes widened. You were hooked to the screen, desperately searching for the boy with brown eyes. As TV static scrambled on the screen, you could hear a voice, whispering faintly in the background. You leaned closer, now terrified but still curious, trying to hear what the voice was saying. You had just managed to make out a few words before the screen suddenly went black. You jumped back, goosebumps erupting on your skin as the static had cut out too. The brown-eyed boy appeared. His face was half surrounded in darkness. His smile was so unnaturally twisted you felt your stomach churn and your heart hammered against your ribcage. His chocolate brown eyes flashed black, and his skin went a pale color. You couldn't turn away. You couldn't look away. His mouth opened, his black, snake-like tongue slithered out and hissed like the animal itself. You swallowed what saliva was in your mouth, attempting to wet your dry throat. The screen glitched. The terrifying look-alike smiled and had disappeared. A serious expression displayed itself on its face. He slowly raised an index finger to his thin, pale, purple-pink lips, and he shushed the camera. Sorry. Then the screen glitched for a second time. His twisted smile back again, even more disturbing than a few minutes before. His mouth formed letters, his lips reshaped, and the word hello rolled off his tongue and hit your ears. But it sounded odd. It didn't sound like Mark's voice. It sounded like a multitude of voices all at once, like his mouth was a portal to hell and you heard the screams of many tortured souls. It was disturbing, it was deep, it was dark. The video glitched again, his head slightly twisted in an odd way, like he was confused. Then the screen flashed back. Your computer system, as if possessed, turned off, and it wouldn't turn back on. For about an hour afterwards, you just sat there, wondering if what you had seen was real. You glanced at your computer, shuffled towards it cautiously, and pressed the power on button. The computer booted up like normal, and you breathed a sigh of relief, wiping the sweat that had collected on your forehead off with the palm of your hand. And then, because you were curious, you went on Twitter and Tumblr and checked to see if there was any mention of the video. Lastly, you opened another tab onto YouTube, because you needed to know if you had seen that video. You brought up Mark's channel, and to your surprise, it was normal. No video replacing any of his other videos. You sighed. "I'm going mad," you murmured. Pushing the thought from your mind for a moment, you got up to go to the kitchen. You poured yourself a glass of cold water and sipped at it, the contents of the video not daring to leave your mind just yet, no matter how hard you tried. You shivered and attempted to ignore what you had seen, going about your evening like normal. You showered, tugged on your pajamas, and even watched a movie. Bedtime finally came around, and you sunk down under your bed sheets, letting out a content sigh. But what you had seen today still was prominent in your mind, and every time you shut your eyes, you saw that twisted smile in those black eyes. It made you uneasy. It made you, for the first time in your adult life, actually scared to the pit of your stomach. It made you nervous, and you found yourself staring up at the ceiling as the clock struck 2 a.m., not being able to close your eyelids in the case the mysterious clone appeared behind them with his purple-pink lips. Finally, though, your eyelids shut, and you entered a deep sleep. But he was there, his black eyes inviting you to come with him, his pale hands clutched around yours, and his smile making another appearance. You awoke again for the second time that week, in a cold sweat feeling nauseous. But this time was different. This time you felt eyes watching you. You felt a presence. You swallowed your fear. You turned on the lamp. You turned on the lamp on the table beside you. "Who's there?" you exclaimed, your voice coming out thin and squeaky. You expected silence. You expected to just be paranoid and fall back into bed to curl up and sleep like a baby. But that didn't happen. "I suppose I should come out now. It has been 3 hours, the voice says. You recognize it, but this time it's without the 1,000 others with it. Slowly, you see a figure slide into view at the foot of your bed. He looks like that man you watch all the time on YouTube. The man with soft, gentle brown eyes, wild red hair, tan skin, and a welcoming smile. But at the same time, he doesn't look like him. You don't see soft, gentle brown eyes. You see pitch-black, terrifying eyes. You don't see wild red hair. You see pushed-back black hair. You don't see tan skin. You see pale, stickly gray skin. And lastly, you do not see the welcoming smile. You see a twisted grin that holds so much more than mischief and trouble. It holds an ounce of mystery and evil. "Who are you?" you manage to say after a few seconds. He sighs and tisks. "I don't really like telling people my name. I mean, stranger damer and whatnot." "Tell me your name," you say again, your voice stronger than before and more stern. He raises one scruffy eyebrow and flashes you a somewhat flirty grin. "I'm Dark Baby, and I don't know why you're bothering with exchanging information. Can't we get to that later?" Taken aback slightly, you gasp out the words. "What the hell do you mean, later?" The man, Dark, rolls his eyes in a playful way. "Well, I did send you a message," he states, making his way over to your computer and sliding his finger across the top of the monitor. You furrow your brow in confusion, then your eyes widen. You sent me that video? Of course. Obviously it couldn't have been him, now could it? Dark says, and in his voice you could hear a hint of distaste. For who, though? How did you get in here? You question, gripping your sheets with a vice-like grip. The same way we plan on leaving. We? Oh, he says, in a tone of voice that makes you shiver. He approaches your bedside. You're too terrified to tell your body to respond. He leans in, clasping one cold hand on your awfully warm one, his mouth pulled into the sort of grin that makes your heart tense. It's a playful grin, but it's hinted with something else, with something intentional, like he's hiding something terrible behind those pearly whites. He leaned forward to whisper in your ear, I have plans for you. He rips you up from your safe haven with such force you scream, tearing the sheets half away off the bed, without warning and without really knowing how. Dark smiles and pulls you back out the way he came, in through your computer screen. Alright guys, that was the end of chapter 1, and oh my gosh, this story is amazing. Wow, like, that was a great. Okay, so probably tomorrow, but I'm not really sure. I will be posting chapter 2. Make sure you tell me, like, what you thought in the comments, saying, you know, like, hey, I want more. And if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and possibly subscribe. It would mean the world to me. I'm really sorry, my voice is, like, kind of annoying, but I really, really hope you liked it, because I am astonished. This is really good. Wow. Okay, well, I will see you guys in the next video, so bye-bye!